I'll make it all come true.
Hey, it's your favorite skinny Irish YouTuber here, back again with another brand new Call of Duty Mobile video. Tips video? Tips video. Tips video? Tips video? Tips video? Tips video? Please make a tips video, tips video, tips video, tips video, tips video! Yup, that's right. Today, as requested by you guys, we're going to be covering some more tips that professional players don't want you to know because they want to stay ahead of the competition and be better than you at Call of Duty Mobile. The reason I'm doing it again is because you guys loved this video that I uploaded last month, and I thought if you guys love it, I might as well do more of it. So, without any further ado, slap that subscribe button as hard as you can so that we can catch up to the population of my country in terms of subscribers. My country's population is 1.9 million. I guess let's get into the tips. So our first tips are going to come under the category of movement, but it's going to be in a smaller subgenre of movement known as peeking. As you guys know, when you walk around the corner and you see an enemy, you're technically peeking them from around the corner. There's many different ways that you can go around peeking someone inside of Call of Duty Mobile. In fact, I would argue that there's 5 different ways that you can peek people inside of this game, but only really 4 ways are actually super beneficial for you. So we'll start off with the one that is not as beneficial as the rest. That is a Jiggle Peek. You can see this in some PC games as one of the most effective ways to kill opponents. One such game as an example would be CSGO. It's a very effective way to take out your enemies. Unfortunately, since Call of Duty Mobile is a mobile game and everyone's on wireless internet connection, Jiggle Peeking is not as effective just due to the ping MS that everyone has. If you peek around the corner quickly and then go back, you might already be back into cover and the enemy you were Jiggle Peeking may be able to hit you just because of how the latency works in this game, which is why I don't recommend Jiggle Peeking unless you're pretty much 100% confident that somebody isn't pre-aiming you around the corner. This style of peek will only be effective to get information for your team, to get around the map as safely as possible, to maybe plant a bomb, capture a flag, or just secure some kills. Next up is Dropshotting. And when you run around the corner and you see an enemy, what's your first reaction? Dropping or jumping? I know there's a couple of people in the scene that actually prefer dropshotting over jump shotting or other variations of peeking inside of the game. Me personally, I'm not really that much of a fan of dropshotting. However, it can be effective in certain scenarios. One of which is if you're in a 1v1 gunfight. Because many people are used to fighting people while they're jumping, dropshotting is a good way to take your opponents by surprise. It also allows you to get off accurate shots because you're not jumping and moving your gun around all over the place while you're moving. However, a drawback of this would be that you're of course a non-mobile target, which is why I believe if you are in a situation where it's a 1v2 or anything past a 1v1 situation, it's not the option, chief, because as soon as you kill the first guy, your mobility is out the window and you'll get easily picked off by every other person trying to shoot you. Examples of situations where you should use a drop shot are 1v1s in search and destroy. If you've just secured a kill behind a wall that you are peeking from, you should drop shot straight away after that kill. If you're in a very, very close gunfight, drop shotting will be beneficial because your opponent will need to drag down exponentially in order to see you. There are a few others, but those are the main ones. Next up, we're going to talk about sliding. Sliding is a great way to peek your opponents simply because it's quick. It has that element of surprise similar to what a drop shot does, where you just don't know when somebody's going to slide around the corner, and then by the time that somebody does slide around the corner, you aren't even ready for them and they kill you pretty much instantaneously. The great thing about slide is because, as I said before, we're all playing on mobile devices with wireless internet connections. It takes around 50 to 100 milliseconds for the opponent to see you sliding around that corner, depending on both of your internet connections, in order for them to even react to you, which gives you a great advantage when you are sliding. It's amazing for aggressive players And it's also one of the best tactics to try and get yourself multiple kills while peeking, because your mobility has skyrocketed and you're a hard to hit opponent. Slide peeking is one of my favorites, but it isn't number one on this list. The only downside to sliding is it's obviously very easy to hear if you have sound on in the game, because it makes a noise when you slide. If you guys want an insane movement trick where you can boost around the map faster, subscribe right now. If we get 6,000 subscribers today and 50,000 likes on this video, I'll upload it next week. You don't need any skins or any perks to do this trick. You can do it with every gun, any class, anything you want. Next up is jump peeking. This was a practice commonly used back in older Call of Duty titles, and it was seen as the most effective tactic available, aka the meta. If you didn't know what that means, there's Ferg's fact of the day. But it was meta in those older Call of Duty titles such as Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, all of those titles, and it is absolutely amazing. If you have good accuracy, this allows you to become a much more mobile target, meaning that your opponents will have difficulty killing you. However, if your accuracy is kind of bad, it's going to be very hard for you to keep track of the opposing team while you're jumping up and down like a damn bunny rabbit. Now, if you guys didn't play back in the beta, here's some footage of what it used to be like when you jumped around the map and just decided to no-scope everyone from the pre-season of Call of Duty Mobile. I mean, just look at that stuff, bro. Like, you could literally jump around the map doing crazy stuff, no-scoping with the PDW or whatever gun you wanted to use, and it would do some serious damage against very, very good opponents. I can't believe Call of Duty Mobile used to be like this, but obviously back then, not as many people were as good at the game yet, so it was seen as just okay. Everyone was jumping up and down like they were on a bouncy castle, and it was just fun. That's what Call of Duty Mobile used to be like. Anyway, let's get into the fifth and final way to peek, which I argue is the best way to peek inside of this game. We're talking about none other than the juicy, the spicy, the crispy slide jump. Yep, it's what I do in pretty much every gunfight I get into. Now, slide jumping is a practice where you initially go into a slide and you jump as the slide is about to stop, so you carry the momentum going into the air. This obviously makes it very hard for enemies to track you, as your mobility has just skyrocketed and you have probably moved across their screen faster than they can keep up with you, depending on what their sensitivity is and how close or far away from them you actually are. This is the most effective tactic of movement peeking when it comes to killing multiple enemies. It's the scariest for your opponent to go against, because they already know that you've got the movement of the game locked down, so they're probably already crying as you slide jump around the corner because they know they're about to die, which obviously makes them nervous, increasing your chances to get the kill. Unfortunately, it does have a downside, of course. With the slide, you alert other players around you that you are in that specific location, but you can always slide again to get yourself as far away from the first slide, and that will obviously confuse the enemies because they've just heard two of them instead of just one. However, after the second slide, you really shouldn't use another slide because you get what's called slide fatigue and you don't really go that far. The same thing with jump shotting. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to check out my other channels linked down below. I actually have an iFerg highlights channel for stream highlights, iFerg live for live streaming, and also iFerg clips where you can hear more about my thoughts on Call of Duty Mobile, TikTok being banned, and other things going on in the gaming and social media space. Down below, go, go, go! Now, since we just talked about movement while peeking, how about I give you guys a counter to that? We're of course going to be talking about tracking, pre-aiming, and crosshair placement. I've talked about crosshair placement many times in the past, but a lot of the people here who are new to my channel have probably never even heard about it. However, let's start off with pre-aiming. Pre-aiming is a tactic to ready your sights for a battle that will occur within the next 1 to 2 seconds. You're pretty much predicting where somebody is going to come from in the hopes that they will come from that way and not a separate lane on the map. The gameplay you can see right now is from my 76-0 Nuketown domination game inside of Ranked. You can see I'm using the HBR and I'm pre-aiming behind the truck. On Nuketown, there's only really 3 to 4 ways that the opposing team can actually come from, so holding the truck and pre-aiming around it is a very, very effective tactic. The main benefits of pre-aiming is that you will be ready as soon as an opponent walks around that corner. You'll be able to land shots shots before they probably even react. However, a solid negative is you're not really mobile. We've talked about this a lot in this video already, but having the ability to get out of situations fast is crucial if you want to stay alive and control the map with your team. If you want to use pre-aiming effectively, you can incorporate some of the peaking movement techniques that we talked about previously, like a slide or a slide jump, to get out of the situation that you're in while you're pre-aiming. For example, if you get swarmed by multiple opponents, you need to get out of there fast. Quickly slide before the slide's finished, jump. That will keep your momentum going. Find a place of cover and then set up a line of sight again to pre-aim the enemies that were chasing you in the past. This may seem like you're playing passive, but what's better? Saving your life and getting a couple extra kills, or dying behind that truck in Nuketown and wondering why you didn't leave sooner? Next up is actually going to be tracking. Now, if you want to get better at tracking, you need to go into the aim trainer mode. Tracking is essentially the ability to follow your opponent's body around the map as they are moving. The best way to do this is obviously using the aim trainer mode, like I just said. It provides you with easy targets to practice with, and you can go in there 24/7, 10 minutes at a time, and practice your tracking on circular targets that are in that firing range. It also gives you multiple different ranges to practice against, and then once you feel that your tracking is superior, you can go ahead and start shooting. However, shooting is not needed off the bat. What is needed is for you to get used to your sensitivity, find out how to track properly with that sensitivity, and then start firing your gun and matching the sensitivity, the tracking, and the recoil control, which will then turn you into an absolute goated, bro. Yo. Next up, it's crosshair placement. This was something that I learned back in 2013 when I used to play Black Ops 2 League play. It's actually almost just common sense. If you're walking around the map with your gun aimed at the ground, it's going to take you longer to scope up and into an enemy when they're shooting at you. So why not hold your crosshair at head or waist height while running around the map? I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? Also, crosshair placement needs to be aimed at an immediate threat point. What I mean by an immediate threat point is a place where an enemy could come out at any second while you're running around the map. For example, right here in this gameplay, you can see that I am looking around the map, but my crosshair is always placed at places where the opposing team could rush from or snipe me from. This will lower my millisecond time to kill because I won't be wasting it dragging my finger across the screen and then trying to aim at them. My sight will already be close to them and I won't need to drag as much, and then I can kill them faster. It's a very simple trick. We've talked about it before on this channel, but for the newbies out there that are just watching my channel for the first time, this is a trick for you, and maybe a reminder for some of the veterans watching the video. So lastly, let's talk about tilting. Now, tilting in Call of Duty is pretty commonplace. I mean, everyone's experienced it. Severe pain of dying multiple times in a row, being killed one off a nuke or even a VTOL, losing a game by 1 point in domination, or losing a search and destroy when the round is at 4-4 and you get killed from behind in the 1v1 situation. In the short term, tilting is awful, but there are ways where you can turn tilting into a positive, and I'm going to explain exactly how you'll be able to do that. First off, you need to understand deaths. Why did you die? Understanding why you died and why you became tilted because of that death will ultimately lead you to be a better player if you analyze it thoroughly. Here's some easy examples. If you're out in the open and you get shot across the map on Crossfire by a sniper, the decision that you took to go out in the open cost you that death. Pretty easy to follow, right? How about in domination? When you kill 4 of the enemy players and your teammates are around the middle of the map and you choose not to hop on that B flag when you know 4 players out of the 5 of the enemy team are spawning at their home flag. That's a mistake. That could have been the determining factor to your loss in that domination game. Main thing I'm trying to explain to you guys here with these examples is every time you die, every time you lose, you can learn something from it in order to progress and get yourself better. Because if you're just gonna let the tilt make you mad, you're just gonna be the same player that you always were. And if you're actually trying to take these tips and tricks and put them into use, understanding where you drop shotted wrong, how you can perfect the slide jump in order to get more kills and not die while doing it, understanding teamwork inside of different game modes will all help you not tilt. And these are things that we have discussed today. So next time you die, next time you lose a game, just go back into the game. I know it's gonna be tough, trust me. I have tilted many times in my past. Here's a couple of clips of that.
stupid game, dude. Bro, I'm done. How am I meant to get number 1, bro, if all I go against is hackers? RPG, snipe 3 walls, like, yep, sniped again. I'm gonna snap this thing in half, bro. I swear to God, dude. Nice, I just broke another headset, dude.
We all tilt. As long as you're learning while you're tilting and not just being mad, you'll get better at the game and you will progress instead of devolving every time you die. So analyze every death while you're tilting. Also, one thing to remember while you are in mid-tilt and you're as mad as you can be, just act like it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it is a game. So you can just sit back, relax, and say, I don't care. I don't care. However, it does sound easier than it looks. Sometimes you get super mad and you just gotta punch the desk, bro. Another way to stop tilting is to take a break. Now, taking a break is something I just couldn't do. When this game first released, I used to stream for 7 to 10 to 12 hours every single day on stream, and I would go crazy around the 6-hour mark because I would get tilted. My subscribers always told me to take a break, and I never took their advice until a few months back, and it has saved me ever since. Let me tell you, you learn more when you're having fun, so take that 15-minute break, clear your head, come back, and enjoy the game again. You'll learn quicker with the break. You'll become a better player with the break, and more importantly, you'll be able to destroy noobs after you take that little 10 to 15-minute break. Yep, I finally got my haircut. That's the end of today's video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Live your life with purpose, and without further ado, let's roll the outro. Bye!